Okay, good morning all of you. Now in this class we are going to start the physics CBSE syllabus. In that light chapter we are going to start light. In the examination, in the state board of the examination, they will ask nearly 7 or 8 marks in this chapter. Minimum is 7 marks they will ask. Okay, so this light is a form of energy we call. Light is nothing but form of energy. So what is the form of energy? So here in the nature we can see different forms of energies. Light is also one form of energy. Heat is also one form of energy. So and chemical energy, different energies is there. In that light is also a form of energy. So in these different sources of this light we can observe in the nature. So what are the different sources of light? Electric bulb is the source of light. Sun is the source of light. Moon is the source of light. Okay. So from all these sources we are getting the energy. So that energy we call as the light. So light we call as a form of energy. So if this light will travel from one position to the another position, or it will propagate from one position to the another position. For example, sun to the earth. Here we are using the energy. Okay. By using this energy, what is the use of for this humans means? It is enables us to see the object around us. Here, light is there means then only we can see the object present around us. If there is no light means we can't able to see the object around us. So if the darkness is there means are we able to see the object? No. If the presence of light, we can see the object around us. Means it creates some sensation on our eye to see the object. So what is light means? Light is the form of energy which enables us to see the object around us. So that we call as the light. So here, in case of this state board, so in this chapter, light chapter, what mainly we will discuss means, so what are the properties of this light? If the light is falls on the different surfaces, what phenomena has to be takes place? And what changes has to be occurs, that we are going to discuss detailing. The first one is suppose if the light which falls on any reflecting surface. Here in that reflecting surface, first one we are taken as a plane surface. Plane reflecting surface we are taken. For example, mirror is one plane reflecting surface. In this mirror, one side is silver, one surface is a silver. So if the light which falls on this surface, what happens? We have to see. Okay. So here the light is propagating in a straight path, linear direction of the light we have taken in case of this discussing the ray optics. Okay. So first here I am taking the ray of light which is coming from any source, which incident on this reflecting surface. So this is a surface we have taken, one reflecting surface. What happens here? The ray which is incidentating, so this is the ray of light which falls on the surface and it is the direction of the ray of light. Just we are representing with the straight line that indicates the path of the ray of light. Okay. Now it falls on a plane surface, plane reflecting surface. Okay. With a certain angle, it made with a certain angle. So where it strikes the surface, that point you are taken as the point of incidence. Point of incidence. So where it strikes the surface, that you are taken as the point of incidence, and whatever the ray of light which falls on the surface, that you are taken as the incident. So this is the ray which is falls on the surface, that you are taken as the incident. Incident. Now, at the point of incidence, I am going to draw the one reference line, so that we call it as a normal. So this is the normal which is perpendicular to the reflecting surface. Which is perpendicular to the reflecting surface. Perpendicular means what? The angle exists between this normal and this reflecting surface is 90 degrees. So here this is called as a normal. Observe carefully here. From this normal to the incident ray, whatever the angle will exist, that angle we call as a angle of incidence. Angle of incidence, the angle made by the incident ray with the normal. Angle made by the incident ray with the normal, that angle we call as the angle of incidence. The angle exists between the normal and incident ray we taken as the angle of incidence. Okay, we get the angle of incidence. So when it falls on this surface, what happens? It will return back. So here the ray which is return back in the same medium. It will return back in the same medium. This is the ray which is incident on this surface. After striking the surface, it will return back in the same medium, because here it is a air medium. Here also what? Air medium only there, means the light is returning back in the same media. So that returning back of the ray of light we called as a reflected ray. We called as a reflected ray. Means the returning back of the ray of light after striking the surface, that we call as a reflected ray. And this reflected ray will make a certain angle with the normal. This reflected ray will make a certain angle with the normal. So that angle we called as the angle of reflection. The reflected ray will make a certain angle with the normal. So that angle we called as the angle of reflection. And the ray which is returned back after striking the surface, that we call as a reflected ray. The ray which falls on the surface, a reflecting surface, that ray we call as the incident ray. At which point it strikes the surface, that we taken as the point of incidence. So this is we call as the reflection of light at the plane surface. So this is a reflection of light at a plane surface. Plane surface. Okay. Reflection of light at the plane surface. Now what is the reflection of light? Okay, here we told how the ray of light is incident, how it is reflected, what it makes. But what is the reflection of light? By observing these. So by observing these phenomena, we are given a statement for this reflection of light is, so when the ray of light which falls on any surface, it will bounce back or return back in the same media. So that phenomenon we call as a reflection of light. Now the ray of light which falls on a surface, after striking the surface, it will return back in the same medium, So that phenomenon we called as reflection of light. So this is the concept of this reflection of light. So here observe carefully, the ray of light which falls on the surface, after striking the surface, it will bounce back or return back in the same media. So that phenomenon we call as a reflection of light. So it makes you to see the object around us. See, if the light coming from the sun is falls on the wall, again it will return back, it reaches your eye. So then only it is possible to see this wall. Otherwise we can't able to see the wall. So here, if you see any object, whatever the light which is falls on that object, it will return back and reaches to your eye. So that is the reflected rays. So then only you are able to see those objects. So that is the phenomenon of this reflection of light. By observing the reflection of light in the nature, we are given the two laws for this reflection of light. Those we call as the laws of reflection. By observing the reflection of light in the in nature we are given the two laws for this reflection. Those laws we call as the laws of reflection. Laws of reflection. So here we already seen that if the light which falls on the any reflecting surface, what happens? So it will bounce back. Now that we are taken as the incident ray and reflected ray, and it makes a certain angle with the what normal that you are taken as the angle of incidence, and it makes a certain angle with the reflected ray that you are taken as the angle of reflection. So what are the laws of reflection of light? Please observe carefully here. Now this is the one reflecting surface. Now here it is a silver. Now the light ray is incident on this surface like this. Light ray is incidented on this surface like this. This is we call as a here incident ray. Now it is a normal. So we draw a line which is perpendicular to this surface that we call as a normal. Now we get the reflected ray. This is the incident ray and it is reflected back. So this is we are taken as a reflected ray. Observe carefully here. Whatever the incident ray we are taken, it lies on this surface. Again, we are going to draw the normal at the point of incidence. It is also lies on this surface. Again, we get the reflected ray. It is also lies on this surface. Means this incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal at the point of incidence. See, this is the point of incidence. All these are lies on this surface only. So that is the first law of reflection of light. Now, what is the first law of reflection of light? The incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal at the point of incidence all lies in the same plane. All lies in the same plane. So that is the law of reflection. First law. Okay, we can write that one. Incident ray, reflected ray, and normal at the point of incidence. At the point of incidence. All lie in the same plane. All lie in the same plane. So this is the first law of reflection of light. Okay, next here. The second law is see, whatever the angle of incidence is there here, it makes with the normal and incident ray, and whatever the angle of reflection in between the normal and reflected ray, those two are equal. Means the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. So that is the second law of reflection of light. Now the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Whatever the angle of incidence here, that is the angle of incidence I, is equal to the angle of reflection. What is the angle of reflection? R. So angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. So this is the second law of reflection. So what is the meaning of this one? For example, this incident ray is incidented with the angle of 30 degree. Now what is the angle of reflection? It is also 30. Now if the ray is incidented with the angle of 40 degree. Now what is the angle of reflection? Angle of reflection is also what? 40 degree. If the ray is incidented with an angle of 0 degree, what is the angle of reflection? So that is also 0. That we call as a normal incidence. But here you have to understand this reflection of light. There are two laws of reflection of light. One is the incident ray, a reflected ray, and a normal. At the point of incidence, all lies in the same plane. And the second law is the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection, that is I is equal to R. Okay. Suppose if the ray of light is incidented, normal note. Okay. If the ray of light is incidented normally, so this is the our surface. Now the ray of light is incidented normally like this. Now we know that we have taken the angle of incidence from what? Normal to the incident. Now the normal is here only, the line which is perpendicular to this surface, and the ray is also here only in the normal direction. Now what is the angle of incidence? Angle of incidence I is equal to 0. I is equal to 0 means we have taken the angle of incidence from normal to the water incident, but here normal and incident are in the same direction, which is perpendicular to the water, the reflecting surface. So therefore the angle of incidence I is equal to 0. And observe carefully here. Okay, it will strike the surface. After striking the surface, it will bounce back in the same part. It will bounce back in the same part. So here that angle of reflection is also 0. Angle of reflection is also 0. Best example is you can take one tennis ball. Now you can throw with a certain angle to the surface. It will bounce back. See, you have taken the tennis ball, you throw like this means it will move like this. But take the tennis ball and throw vertically like this. Vertical. It will not move like this, or it will not move like this. It will return back in the water. Same part. Again it will see. If you leave like this means again it comes to your angle. It will not move in the other directions. Okay, so that we call as a normal incidence. In case of the normal incidence, angle of incidence I is equal to 0 and angle of incidence R is equal to 0. Okay, so this is the laws of reflection of light. So for you they will ask for the 2 marks question. State the 2 laws of reflection of light. So in the previous years, in the model paper also they asked the question. State the 2 laws of reflection of light. In that case, just want to mention the 2 laws. Need not to write the diagram or need not to write this. Just you have to write the 2 laws of this reflection of light. But here in your textbook they mainly concentrated based on these reflection of light at the curved surfaces in your textbook. So that we have to discuss. Okay, next concept, the reflection of light at the curved surfaces. Okay, it is a plane surface you have taken and we have observed how the reflection of light has to be takes place. In the same way, if the light is incident on the curved surfaces, how the reflection has to be takes place, that we are going to discuss in the next. Okay, next concept is a reflection of light at the curved surfaces. Now observe carefully the reflection of light at curved surface. Observe carefully. In case of this curved surfaces, how you have taken these curved surfaces? All of you know the sphere. Now I am taking one sphere. So this is the one sphere you have taken. Okay. So this is the one sphere you have taken. So in this sphere, observe carefully. So this is the one sphere you have taken. In these, just I am taking a certain path. I am taking the certain path of this sphere. Certain part of this sphere. It's complete, say it's a circle for example. But here you have taken the hollow sphere. Hollow means what? It is empty inside that. Okay, for example, this tennis court inside is empty. Like that. Hollow sphere you have taken. In that just you have taken the part like this. So this is a one surface and it is a what? Another surface. So in these two are the water, part of an hollow sphere. Part of an hollow sphere. Okay. Now this is the one part and there is another part of an hollow sphere. In these we are observed the 2 surfaces. One is the inner surface, another is the outer surface. It is the inner surface and it is the outer surface. Here it is the inner surface, it is the outer surface. Okay. So here I am going to make the silvering of the 2 different surfaces and 2 different cases. In the first case, I will make the silvering outside. Now we make the silvering outside. So outside is a silver. Outside is silver. Inner is a refracting surface. Inner is a reflecting surface. Outer surface is silver, inner surface is a reflecting surface. And in this case, I am going to make the inner surface is silver. Inner surface is silver. outer surface is refracting surface. Now this inner surface is silver, outer surface is the refracting surface. Refracting. So here the outer surface is silver, inner surface is the reflecting surface. Here the inner surface is silver, outer surface is the reflecting surface. We know that here this one surface is silver, another surface is a reflecting surface, means that we call as a mirror. Okay. Here these two are also what? Mirror. But which type of the mirror? It is a what? Plain mirror. But here these are in the what? Spherical shape. So these we call as a spherical mirrors. So these two we call as the what? Spherical mirrors. And observe carefully, reflecting surface is different in these two. So that's why we are again given the name for these two. So one is the, see which one is in the outer surface silver and inner surface is reflecting, that we call as a concave mirror. That we call as a concave mirror. Now the other surface here, the inner surface is silver, outer surface is reflecting surface. That type of the mirror we call as a convex mirror. Convex mirror. So these are the two types of the spherical reflecting surface. Spherical mirrors. These are the two types of the spherical mirrors. So first, what are the spherical mirrors? Okay, I told these are the what? Two spherical mirrors. Convex and concave mirrors are the two spherical mirrors. But what are the spherical mirrors? Observe carefully. Now, spherical mirrors are the part of an allosphere. Just we take on the water. Part of an allosphere bounded with the two surfaces. It is bounded with water. Two surfaces. Which one? One is the silver, another is the reflecting surface. Here also, one is the silver, another is the water, the reflecting surface. Those we call as the spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors are the part of an allosphere, bounded with the two surfaces. One surface is silver, another surface is the reflecting surface. Those mirrors we call as the spherical mirrors. Now we can write the definition. So spherical mirrors. One last question. Spherical mirrors. These are the part of allosphere, part of an allosphere bounded by two surfaces. Bounded by two surfaces. One is silver and another is a reflecting surface. One is a silver, another is a reflecting surface. I didn't told about which is the reflecting surface, which is the silver. You not required, because again based on that we are classified as what? Concave and convex mirrors. Just spherical mirrors means what? These are the part of an allosphere bounded by the two surfaces. One is the silver and another is the reflecting surface. Those mirrors we call as the spherical mirrors. So again, in these spherical mirrors we are classified as the two kinds. One is the concave mirror and another is the convex mirror. What is the concave mirror? Concave mirror is a spherical mirror. Concave mirror is a spherical mirror. It is bulged inwards. You can say bulged inwards like this. Here it is the plane, means it is bulged inwards like this. Inner surface is what? A reflecting, outer surface is silver surface. Or you can simply say this concave mirror. Concave mirror is the what? A spherical mirror. Concave mirror is a spherical mirror. So inner surface is reflecting and outer surface is silver surface. Convex mirror means it is also what? A spherical mirror. But here the outer surface is reflecting and inner surface is silver. Or here we can say the mirror which is bulged inwards. The mirror which is bulged inwards. Which mirror? Concave mirror. The mirror which is bulged outwards. Like this. So the mirror which is bulged outwards. So that mirror we call as the what? Convex mirror. So these are the two types of the spherical mirrors. So in this case we have to discuss some terminologies related to these whatever the concave and convex mirrors are. So whatever the terminologies means, first one, center of curvature. Center of curvature. What is the center of curvature? You know, it is a sphere, means it is on a certain center. So where is the center of the sphere? So this is the what? Center of the sphere. This is the center of the what? Sphere. That center of the sphere, hollow sphere, we call as the what? Center of curvature. The center of the hollow sphere, mirror as the part. This mirror is the what? Just part of the hollow sphere. So the center of curvature is the what? Center of the sphere, mirror as the part. So that we have taken as the center of curvature. So this is the center of curvature. Center of curvature is the center of the hollow sphere, mirror as the part. So that we have taken as the center of curvature. Next, radius of curvature. Before going to that, we have to discuss the pole. What is the pole? The center portion of the mirror. The center portion of the mirror. So it is a mirror, means where is the center portion? So this is the center portion that we have indicated with P. P indicates the what? Center portion of the mirror, that we have called as the pole of the mirror. That we called as the what? Pole of the mirror. So what is the pole? One must question. Pole is the center portion of the mirror. For both concave and convex. Now it is a mirror, means this is the center portion. So that we call as the pole, that is indicated with P. So what is the pole, means it is the center portion of the mirror. And C is the center of curvature and P is the pole of the mirror. So you have taken one circle, means from these center to the circumference of the circle you have taken as a radius. In the same way, here from the center of curvature to the pole of the mirror, whatever the distance exists, center of curvature to the what? Pole of the mirror, that we have taken as the radius of curvature, that is indicated with R. R indicates the radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. So they will ask the question for 1 marks. What is the radius of curvature? So radius of curvature is nothing but what? Distance between the center of curvature to the pole of the mirror, that we have taken as the radius of curvature. So that is also 1 marks question. Observe carefully. Now it is in a certain part. Here this part only. If the light, see, we have taken the mirror. For example, if the one concave mirror I have taken, so outer surface is a silhouette, inner surface is a reflecting surface. So silhouette, inner surface is what? Refracting surface. And here this is a source. It is the sun. We are getting the what? Light from this source. The light is going to fall on this reflecting surface. Okay. The light is coming like this. In all direction, light is coming like this. Observe carefully. Whatever the light we get from the sun, all the light is not falling on this mirror. Only a certain area, whatever the area of this mirror is there, in that only the light is falling. So the capacity or area, whatever the area is there for the mirror to receive the light, how much area is there? So this much area is there. So this is the part of the mirror. So in this much area, whatever the light it will come, so that is only received by the what? Mirror. The whatever the other direction of the light is there, it is not received. So this area of the mirror we call as a aperture. That we call as what? Aperture. So in case of these cameras, so if in case of taking the photos, they will say just come close to each other like that to make an adjustment. Okay, because if you are out of this camera, whatever the lens they use it, so that is then a sudden aperture. In that aperture only it will cover whatever the thing is there in front of. So if you are behind that aperture, means you can't able to take your picture. So that's why they will say like that. In same way, whatever the light which is coming from the objects, it will cover the certain area only. So whatever that area is there, that we call as a aperture. So that is another topic. So we can say it is a diameter of the mirror also. It is diameter of the mirror is nothing but a aperture. In that area it covers the, or it allows the light, maximum light. So these are the some terminologies. Okay. So after if the light which falls on this concave mirror or convex mirror, what happens? You have to see in the next. So here we already seen the some terminologies related to these reflecting at the curved surfaces. Again, once again see. Now this is the a curved surface. Outer surface is silhouette and inner surface is the refracting surface. We have taken this is what a concave mirror. Concave mirror. Okay. Observe carefully. We already told it is having a certain center here that we have taken as the center of curvature, that is indicated with C. And the center portion of the mirror we have taken as the pole of the mirror, that is indicated with P. And the line joining the distance between the center of curvature and pole we have taken as the radius of curvature. Okay. Now here, whatever the center of curvature and a pole we have taken, if the line which is passed through the center of curvature and pole of the mirror, a straight line which is passed through the pole and center of curvature. No, the distance between the center of curvature and pole we have taken as the radius of curvature. But here, if the line which is passed through the pole and the center of curvature, straight line, so that we have taken as the principal axis. Principal axis. So if they ask the question, what is the principal axis? Means the line which is passed through the pole and the center of curvature. A straight line which passed through the center of curvature and pole we are taken as the principal axis. Okay. So in the same way, in case of this convex mirror also, now in case of the convex mirror, so what? Inner surface is silhouette and outer surface is a reflecting surface, and it is a pole, and here I have the what? Center of curvature. You have to observe one difference here in case of the concave mirror and in case of the convex mirror. What is the difference we are observing? Convex mirror. See the a center of curvature in case of this concave mirror and in case of the what? Convex mirror. So in case of the concave mirror, the center of curvature is towards the reflecting surface. In case of the concave mirror. But in case of the convex mirror, see this is the center of curvature, but it is the reflecting surface. Means in case of the convex mirror, this reflecting surface is the other side of the water, center of curvature. That is the main difference between the concave mirror and the convex mirror. And here also, the line which passes through the pole and this is the center of curvature. Pole and the center of curvature that we have taken as a principal axis. Principal axis. So this is the principal axis. Okay. So here, if the light which falls on these surfaces, in case of the concave mirror or in case of the convex mirror, what happens in this case we have to discuss. Okay. So first, if the light which falls on the concave mirror, so if the light which falls on the concave mirror, how this reflection of light has to be takes place? First, we can take the two. Now, I am going to consider one now a concave mirror. So in your textbook, they given the diagram towards the reflecting the surface is towards the what? Left side. They given the diagram. Spread that.
Wait ಮಾಡು ಡಸ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. ಓಕೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಅಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ನೀನು ಅಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ವಜ್ಜಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಅಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಹೇಳು, ಸರಿನಾ? ಎಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಏನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಂ, ರೆಡಿ. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಬಿಸಾಕಿದೀವಿ ನಾವ್. ಹೆಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಉಜ್ಜಿ ಒರ್ಸಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಒರ್ಸಿ ಬಿಸಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ನಮ್ದು ನಾನು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್. ನಿನ್ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ತಗೋಣ.
So next here, the reflection of light through this concave mirror. Now I am going to consider one concave mirror. So this is a curved surface and outer surface is silhouette. It is a outer surface, it is a silhouette. And here this is a pole, and here it is a center of curvature, the line which passes through the center of curvature and pole we have taken as what? Principal axis. Now here, suppose the light which is falling on this refracting surface, whatever the light we are getting, it is coming from the infinity. For example, sun, whatever the sun rays we are receiving, those are obviously what? Parallel to each other. So I am taking a parallel beam of light. So this is a parallel beam of light. Parallel to what? Principal axis. Now it is a principal axis. For this principal axis it is parallel. Here it is also parallel. Now here we have taken the parallel beam of light. Ray of light means single. One is that means that is a single ray of light. But more than two or more is that means that is a beam we call. Beam is more than two or more rays. Now this beam of light is incident parallel to the what? Principal axis. Okay. So after striking this refracting surface, we know that the refraction of light has to be takes place. Okay. Now here, if the ray of light is strike here, we can draw a normal at this point of incidence. So it is a normal. Now reflected ray we have to write. So this is a reflected ray. Now this is the incident ray and it is a reflected ray. It makes a certain angle with the normal that you take as the angle of incidence. And the ray will make an angle with the what? Reflected ray that you take as the angle of reflection. In the same way, at every ray which strikes the surface means it satisfies the laws of reflection. The laws of reflection is satisfied for all the surfaces, not only plane surface or not only curved surface. It is satisfied for all the surfaces. It is any shape. It may be smooth surface or it may be rough surface. Now here in the same, this is the incident ray and a reflected ray comes like this. This is the reflected ray, and from this point again this is the reflected. So these are all reflected. Observe here. So a beam of light is incident parallel to the principal axis. After striking the reflecting surface of the concave mirror, the reflection of light takes place. So at the point of incidence, if you can draw a normal which is always coming from the center of curvature. So whatever the normal we drawn, so if you want to represent the normal means we are always taken from the what? Center of curvature. So why you are taken this center of curvature at the point of incidence as the normal means for any surface. For any surface you can draw the tangent. This is the tangent and it is the what? Center of curvature. It gives what? Perpendicular. So the line which is perpendicular to the what? This surface we are taken as the what? Normal. So the line which is perpendicular to the surface you are taken as the what? Normal. For which surface? Reflecting surface. So that's why whatever the line you are taken, normal line you are taken, they are always taken from the what? Center of curvature to the point of incidence. To the point of incidence. Okay. And after striking the surface, all these reflected rays, these are the what? Reflected rays meet at a certain point on the principal axis. All these rays meet at a certain point on the principal axis. So this is the point all the reflected rays are meeting. So that point we are taken as the focus or principal focus. That is indicated with the capital F. This capital F indicates the principal focus or focus of the concave mirror. Because this is the what? A concave mirror you are taking. Concave mirror. Observe carefully. This is the 2 marks question that is asked. Define the concave principal focus of the concave mirror. How we can define the principal focus of the concave mirror? How we can define? See what happens, sir? Here when the beam of light which is incident parallel to the principal axis, it is incident parallel to the principal axis on the reflecting surface of the concave mirror. On the reflecting surface of the concave mirror, after the reflection, all the reflected rays are meet at a certain point on the principal axis. These reflected rays after the reflection meet at a certain point where? On the principal axis. So that point we are taken as the focus or principal focus of the concave mirror. Focus or principal focus of the what? Concave mirror. So this is, we can also say, the action of concave mirror. Means if the light is falls on the water, this concave mirror, how the reflection has to be taken. That is nothing but a action of this concave mirror, we can also say. In the same way, suppose if the light which falls on the water, this convex mirror, how this reflection of light is takes place. Otherwise, we can also say the action of convex mirror. Now, for that, I am going to consider the one convex mirror. So this is a curved surface. Inner surface is silver. So this is a inner surface is silver, and here it is a pole of the mirror, and here it is the center of curvature, the line which pass through the water pole, and this center of curvature that were taken as the what? Principal axis. Okay, so this is the line which is pass through the pole and the center of curvature that were taken as the principal axis. Again, take the beam of light which is instead parallel to the principal axis. Now I am considering that a beam of light which is incident parallel to the principal axis. See, this is the what? A line which is incident parallel to the principal axis. Now we have taken the another ray which is incident parallel to the principal axis. Okay. These are the a beam of light which strike the reflecting surface of the convex mirror. So it is the what? Convex mirror. It is a convex mirror. Okay. So after striking the surface, what happens? A reflection of light has to be takes place. Means it will bounce back. Okay. Now see here. So this is the ray is incident. At this point of incidence, you can draw the normal to the water center of curvature. So here we can draw the water a reflected ray. So this is the what? A reflected. It will bounce back. But whenever a person will see this reflected, if any person will see this reflected ray, it is appears to be coming from a certain point on this water principal axis. So it is appears to be coming from a certain point on the principal axis. Now this is the point. In the same here, this is the ray is incidented, again it is reflected back. This is the reflected ray. We can draw the normal. Okay, so this is the normal to the point center of curvature. And when we see this reflected ray, so it is also appears to be what? Coming from a certain point of this from the water, this principal axis. The ray is appears to be coming at a certain point on the principal axis. So in the same way, remaining the rays also. So these are the reflected rays. Those are appears to be coming from a certain point on the principal axis. When we see these reflected rays, all these reflected rays appears to be coming from a certain point on the principal axis. So at which point those are appears to be coming, so that we call as a principal focus of the convex mirror. That is indicated with the F. Principal focus of the convex mirror. Or simply you can say focus of the convex mirror. So in case of defining the, say this focus, principal focus of the concave mirror, what we told, the beam of light is incidented on the concave mirror. After the reflection, all the reflected rays are meet at a certain point. Exactly they will meet. So that point we call as the real point, because exactly meeting. So that we can say that point we call as the what? A real point. That is a real point. But in case of this convex mirror, what happens? The rays is not exactly meeting, but appears to be meeting. Okay, at that point those rays are appears to be meeting. So that's why that point we call as a virtual point. Virtual point. But how we can define the principal focus of this convex mirror? Means if a beam of light is incident parallel to the principal axis, beam of light is incident parallel to this principal axis. After striking the surface, this reflected rays are diverges. Diverge means what? From a point, those will move in the what? A different direction. So from one point, those will move in the different direction. That we call as the what? Divergence. Okay. So here the rays is moves in a different directions. We can say these rays are what? Diverging. The refracted rays are what? Diverging. Okay. So the refracted rays are what? Diverges, but when we see this divergent rays, those divergent rays appears to be coming from a certain point on the principal axis. Appears to be coming from a certain point on the principal axis. That point we are taken as the principal focus of the convex mirror. That point we are taken as the principal focus of the convex mirror. Or we can say it is the action of this convex mirror. It is the action of the concave mirror. It is the action of the convex mirror. If they ask the question, draw the neat label diagram to show the action of the concave mirror, you have to write this one, and action of the convex mirror, you have to write this one. In all these cases, laws of refraction has to be satisfied. In all the cases, it may be plane surface, or it may be curved surface, or it may be rough surface, whatever it may be. The reflection of light has to be satisfied. Just remember the another note pointer. If the light is incident on the plane, this smooth plane surface, that reflection of light we call as a regular reflection. But if the light is incident on any rough surface, whatever the reflection of light has to take place, that we call as a irregular reflection. But in both the cases, laws of reflection has to be satisfied. In the same way, in case of the curved surface also, the laws of reflections has to be satisfied. So this is the action of concave and convex lens. Observe carefully, whatever the distance exists between this principal focus and this pole of the mirror is there, that we are taken as the focal length of the mirror. So that is indicated with small f. That small f indicates the focal length. Focal length of the what? Given mirror. Concave mirror is a concave mirror. In the same way, the distance exists between this focus and pole of the mirror, that we are taken as the what? Focal length of the mirror. So that is indicated with f. F indicates what? Focal length of the convex mirror here, and in this case, focal length of the concave mirror. One more question: what is the focal length of the concave mirror, or what is the focal length of the convex mirror? The distance between the pole and the focus, or the distance between the pole and the principal focus, that we are taken as the focal length of the concave mirror or focal length of the convex mirror. So these are the terminologies involved in case of this reflection of light through these curved surfaces or spherical mirrors. What are the terminologies, sir? First one is the what? This center of curvature. Second one is the pole of the mirror. Third one is the aperture. Fourth one is the radius of curvature. Fifth one is the focal length of the mirror, and sixth one is the principal focus. So these are very important. If you want to understand what the remaining thing is, you must have to know this terminologies. Okay. So now the next, how these images formed by this concave mirror and convex mirror? By placing the object at different positions. So before going to that, we have to consider a certain rays to show the image formed by this concave mirror and convex mirror, that we are going to discuss in the next. The next concept is the rays to be considered to show the image formed by concave mirror and convex mirror. So here, if I want to show the image formed by the concave mirror and convex mirror, we can't able to take this infinite number of the rays which is coming from the source. Certain rays you have to take. So whatever the rays you have to take. So among these, whatever I will show the rays, among those any two rays only we will take to show the image formation. First we can discuss one by one in case of the concave mirror and in case of the convex mirror. How we can take the rays to show the image formation. In that case, first one, case 1 you are taken. Case 1. Okay. So first ray. Now this is the concave mirror we are taken. The outer surface is silver, and direct I am writing the principal axis. So this is the principal axis, straight line which pass through the pole, and is the center of curvature. Now here at a certain point, this is the radius of curvature is there. Sorry, this focus is there. So this is a focus. there is some relation is there in between these whatever the focal length and the radius of curvature is. The relation between the focal length and radius of curvature, so that is r is equal to 2f. I will say later. First here. Now this is the principal axis. The first ray is so if the ray of light which is incident parallel to the principal axis, if the ray of light which is incident parallel to the principal axis, in case of the concave mirror, after the reflection it passed through the focus. After the reflection it passed to the focus. Suppose you have shown the ray is incidenting parallel to the principal axis, means after the reflection it must pass through the water focus. You have to show. That is the first. In the same in case of this convex mirror, so inner surface is silver, outer surface is reflecting, and the ray which is passed through the pole and center of curvature, that is nothing but what? A principal axis. If the ray of light is incident parallel to the principal axis, in case of the convex mirror, after reflection what happens? It is diverges. It is diverges, but this divergent rays appears to be coming from a focus. The divergent rays appears to be coming from the focus. So this is the first principal ray we have considered to show the image formation by the concave and convex mirror. It is the what? Concave, and it is the what? Convex. Okay. Case 2. In the case 2, another observe carefully. Now again I have taken the a concave mirror. So it is a concave mirror. Outer surface is silver, inner surface is a reflecting surface. We have taken the line which is passed through the pole and center of curvature, that we take as the principal axis. Suppose if the ray of light which is coming from the focus, now this is the focus, if the ray of light which is coming from the focus and incident on the concave mirror, the ray which is coming from the focus and incident on the concave mirror, after the reflection the reflected ray is most parallel to the principal axis. The reflected ray is most parallel to the principal axis. See, this is the incident ray. After reflection it moves parallel to the principal axis. That is. In the same, in case of this convex mirror, now it is a convex mirror. Inner surface is silver, outer surface is reflecting. The line which is passed through the center of curvature and pole, that is the principal axis. Okay. If the ray of light is incidented, now exactly middle focus. If the ray of light is incidented, is in the direction of the focus. Is in the direction of the focus. So this is the direction of the focus. After reflection, it moves parallel to the principal axis. After reflection, it moves parallel to the principal axis. Now this is the direction of the water incident. In this direction, the ray of light is incidented. If the ray is incidented, is in the direction of the focus. After the reflection, this reflected ray is most parallel to the principal axis. Most parallel to the principal axis. So this is the second. Reverse of this one. Here the first case, if the ray is incidented parallel, after it passed through the focus. In the next case, if the ray which is coming from the focus, after it moves parallel. Here also, if the ray is incidented parallel, it moves reflected, and reflected ray is appears to be coming from the water direction of the focus. But if the ray is appears to be incidented, is incidented, is in the direction of the focus, after reflection it moves parallel to the principal axis. So this is the second. In the same way, case 3, third. Now again consider the a concave mirror. So it is a concave mirror, outer surface is silver, and we can take the principal axis, and it is a pole, and it is the what? Center of curvature and middle focus. Okay. Now suppose if the ray which is coming from the center of curvature, the ray which is coming from the center of curvature, now this is the ray is incidented on the reflecting surface. After the reflection, this reflected ray is returned back in the same path. Now if the ray of light is coming from the center of curvature and strike the reflecting surface, after striking the surface, it will return back in the water, same path. So here, in the previous class, so we already told about normal incidence. In case of the a plane surface. If the ray of light is incident like this, after it will return back in the same path. So here also, now in case of this a concave mirror, then whatever the ray which is coming from the center of curvature, you can draw the line at the point of incidence. It acts as the what? Normal. So here also it acts as the normal. For the normal incidence, the refracted ray is coming in the what? Return back in the same path. So that's why here, if the ray of light which is coming from the center of curvature, after the reflection, it will return back in the same path. So this is another. In the same, in case of this convex mirror, now this is the convex mirror. Inner surface is a silver. Now the line which is drawn, principal axis. Now it is a pole, and it is the what? Center of curvature. Now if the ray here, it is the focus. If the ray which is incidented is in the direction of the center of curvature, is in the direction of the center of curvature. This is the ray is incidented is in the direction of the center of curvature. After reflection, it will retrace its path, return back in the same direction. So this is a ray is incidented. After reflection, it will return back in the same path. So that is a case 3. So another last look. In case of both concave and convex. So case 4. Now in case of this a concave mirror, so again we have taken the a concave mirror. So outer surface is silver, and the line which is passed through this pole, and this is the what? Center of curvature. Okay. Now if the ray is exactly incident at the pole, if the ray of light is exactly incident at the pole, we know that here this whatever the principal axis is there, it acts as the normal. It acts as the normal, and it will return back like this. Now it satisfies the laws of reflection. In this case, you have to remember that this principal axis acts as the normal, and this is the incident, and it is a reflected. It satisfies the laws of reflection. So in the same in case of this convex mirror, now the inner surface is a silver, and it is a principal axis, and it is the center of curvature, and it is a what? Focus. If the ray which is exactly incident at the pole, so this is a what? A pole. If the ray of light is exactly incident at the pole, what happens? This is a return back of the ray of light, and it satisfies the laws of reflection. So if I want to show the image formed by the what? Concave mirror or convex mirror. So here we have show the what? 4 rays you have taken. So among these 4 rays, any 2 rays you will take to show the image formed by this concave mirror or convex mirror. So first one is, if the ray is incident parallel, it passes through the focus. But in case of the convex mirror, if the ray of light is incident parallel, after it is diverges, but it is appears to be coming from the focus. In the second case, if the ray of light is coming from the focus, after the reflection it moves parallel to the principal axis. In case of the convex, if the ray of light is incidented is in the direction of the focus, after reflection it moves parallel to the principal axis. The third one, if the ray of light which is coming from the center of curvature, after the reflection it will retrace its path in the reverse direction or return back in the same direction. So in the same way, in case of the convex mirror also, if the ray of light is incidented is in the direction of the center of curvature, after the reflection it will return back in the same path. The fourth one is if the ray of light is exactly incident at the pole, in case of the concave mirror, after this is the reflection of light, and this principal axis acts as a normal and satisfies the laws of reflection. And in case of the convex mirror, if the ray of light is exactly incident at the pole, after it is a what? A reflected ray and satisfies the laws of reflection, and this principal axis acts as a normal. So these are the rays we have considered to show the image formed by the concave mirror and convex mirror. In case of drawing the diagrams, among these 4, just we will take any 2 rays. Okay. So next we can consider the concave mirror, and we can show the formation of image by placing the object at different positions. Okay. The next is the image formed by a concave mirror. Here, different cases is there. By placing an object at different positions, how the image is formed and what are the characteristics of the image, we can discuss one by one diagrammatically. The first one is case 1. The object is at infinity. Now, we have placed an object at infinity. Object is at infinity. So, in case of a concave mirror, what happens? First, here we have taken the concave mirror. So, this is a concave mirror. Outer surface is a silver. Okay. Inner surface is a reflecting surface. Now, the line which is passed through the pole and this center of curvature that we have taken as the principal axis. So, this is the principal axis, and exactly middle we have taken the what? Focus. There is a relation is there in between the relation. Note, you can write note. Note is a relation between the radius of curvature and focal length. That is R is equal to 2f. The relation between the radius of curvature and focal length, R is equal to 2f. Therefore, f is equal to what? R by 2. F is equal to R by 2 means whatever the in case of drawing the diagram, you have to remember this one, because here, so whatever the center of curvature to the pole distance is there, you are taken as the what? Radius of curvature. Okay. Next, we know that F is equal to what? R by 2 means exactly middle, we have to take the what? Focus. Then only we get the correct position of the image and size. Otherwise, we will not get. So that's why whatever the distance you are taken from pole to the focus, take the same distance from focus to the center of curvature. Otherwise, whatever the distance you are taken from pole to the center of curvature, exactly take the half of this as the focus. So exactly half of that point you can represent with the focus. Okay. Now, in this case here, we are considering the ray of light which is incident parallel to the principal axis. In the previous only we already seen, if the ray is incident parallel, what happens? The reflected ray is passed through the focus. So this is the reflected ray which is passed through the focus. So our reference you can take the another ray. So this is the ray is incident parallel to the principal axis. After reflection it passed through the focus. After reflection it passed through the focus. So this is the reflected ray. Now observe carefully here. These two reflected rays are what? Exactly meeting at the focus. Means I already told that is what? A real point, and that is the position of the image. Now first point we have to write that the image is formed. Image is formed at where? At the focus. The image is formed at the F. Okay. Now what about the size of the image? Because here, whatever the rays which is coming from the object, those coming from what? Infinity. We don't know that what the distance. It is coming from infinity. Just we have taken these incident rays, incident parallel. Now, whatever the image is formed, that is a real image. Real image. Why? Because this is the reflected rays are exactly meeting. So that is a real point. Whatever the image is formed, that is a what? A real image. Just you have to remember that. If the reflected rays are exactly meted, means that is a forms a what? A real image. Those will not exactly meet, means that forms a virtual image. But here the rays are exactly meted, so that whatever the image is formed, that is a what? A real image. And also we are observed that whatever the image is formed, it is inverted. It is a inverted image. So what is the inverted image? Means see, you have placed an object like this, but image is formed reverse. So that image we call as a inverted. We have placed an object like this, but the image is formed like this. So that we call as what? Inverted. So real and inverted. Inverted image is formed. Okay. And what about the size of the image? Now see here. So whatever the light we are getting from sun, if you can focus that one, here we get a small point at sun on the mirror. Yes, sir. So that is the what? Size of the sun, it is very small, but the whatever the size of the sun is there, it is very large. But whatever the image is formed, that is very small, it is appears to be what? Point. So here also the image is whatever the image is formed in case of placing an object at infinity, so that image is the what? Point image. So point image is formed. Point image is formed. Now this is the characteristics of image formed by the concave mirror by placing an object at infinity. If you can place an object at infinity, image is exactly formed at a focus F, and it is real and inverted image, and the point image is formed. It is about the size. Size of the image is what? Point image. Next, in the case 2. Okay, the next case is case 2. That is, we have placed an object behind the center of curvature. In the case 1, we have placed an object at infinity. In the second case, now if you can place an object behind the center of curvature, now where the image is formed and what are the characteristics. Now again I am going to consider this a concave mirror. So it is a one concave mirror. Outer surface is a silver. Now the line which is pass through this pole and center of curvature, that we are taken as the principal axis. Exactly middle we are taken as a what? Focus. So it is the focus. Now we are going to place an object behind the center of curvature. Now this is the center of curvature. We are going to place an object behind the center of curvature. Now this is the object we have placed. It is behind the center of curvature. Okay. Now you can take the ray which is incident parallel to the principal axis. Okay. We have taken the one ray which is incident parallel to the principal axis. We already discussed rays to be considered for image formation. Among those, one we have taken, the ray is incident parallel to the principal axis. After reflection, what happens? It passes through the focus. Now this is the ray which is pass through the focus. Okay. We already know that if the ray is incident parallel, it passes through the focus. And take the another ray which is pass through the focus. The ray which is coming from the object is pass through the focus. Now this is the ray which is passed through the focus. And we already seen that if the ray which is coming from the focus and incident and the concave mirror, what happens, sir? This ray is most parallel to the what? This principal axis. Means the reflected ray is most parallel to the principal axis. So this is the reflected ray which moves parallel to the what? Principal axis. So this is the principal axis. Okay. Observe carefully, these two reflected rays are meted, are intersected at a certain point. This is the point of intersection of the reflected rays. So that is the position of the image. Now the image is formed at this point. So you can say this is the what? Image formed by the concave mirror by placing an object at behind the what? Center of curvature. When you place an object behind the center of curvature, observe carefully, the image is formed in between the center of curvature and focus. See, this is the center of curvature and it is a focus. The image is formed in between the what? Center of curvature and focus. The image is formed. That is the position of the image. Okay. Now this is the size of the object you have taken. See, this is the size of the image. Okay. Now you have placed an object like this, but the image is formed in this manner. Now we can write the characteristics. One is, what is the image is formed? So where the image is formed first? In between the center of curvature and focus. So image formed between C and F, center of curvature and focus. Okay. Second point, what about the image here? So it is a real image because the reflected rays are exactly emitted, real, and inverted. See, you are placed an object like this, image is formed like this. Therefore, it is a real and inverted image. Real and inverted image. Okay. Real and inverted. What about the size of the image? See, you are placed this much here. This is the image. Means the size of the image is less compared to the object. How we can write a diminished image? Diminished image. What is the meaning of this diminished image? The size of the image is less compared to the object. So that we call it as a diminished image. So these are the characteristics of image formed by the concave mirror by placing an object where behind the center of curvature. See, indicate what? Center of curvature. When you place an object behind the center of curvature, image is formed in between the center of curvature and focus. Now this is the case 2. Now we can go for the case 3. Case 3. Okay. Now I am going to place an object exactly at the center of curvature. Now the object at C, exactly at the center of curvature. Object is exactly at C. Okay. In case of the concave mirror, where the image is formed and what are the characteristics. Now I am going to consider this a concave mirror. So here it is a concave mirror. Outer surface is a silhouette, and the line which is passed through this pole and center of curvature, that we are taken as the what? Principal axis. Exactly middle we are taken as the focus. I told already why you have to take this focus exactly at the center of this pole and what? Center of curvature. Okay. Now I am going to place an object exactly at the center of curvature. So this is the object we have placed exactly at the center of curvature, and consider the rays. The first ray is easily parallel to the principal axis. After reflection, what happens? It passes through the focus. Now this is the ray which is passed through the focus, reflected ray, that will take as a reflected ray. Okay. Now take the another ray which is passed through the focus. The ray which is passed through the focus. So this is the ray which is passed through the focus. After striking this concave mirror, what happens? The reflection has to take place, and we know that if the ray which is coming from the focus and incident on the mirror miss, after the reflection, this ray is most parallel to the principal axis. Reflected ray is most parallel to the principal axis. Now this is the reflected ray which most parallel to the principal axis. Wherever these two reflected rays will intersect, so this is the what? Position of the intersection of these reflected rays. So that is the what? Position of the image formed by the concave mirror. Now this is the what? Image is formed. So this is the image formed by the what? Concave mirror by placing an object exactly at the what? Center of curvature. This is the what? Center of curvature. Now where the image is formed? The image is also formed exactly at the center of curvature. If you can place an object in front of the concave mirror at a distance of center of curvature, whatever the image is formed by this concave mirror, it forms the image exactly at the what? Center of curvature only. And here the reflected rays are exactly meted, means it's a what? A real image. And here placed an object like this, but the image is formed like this. So it is an inverted image. And observe the size. Whatever the size of this object you have taken, so whatever the size of the object is there, the size of the image is also same. Size of the object is equal to the size of the image. Here it is 1 centimeter is there, means it is also 1 centimeter. It is 2 centimeter is there, it is also 2 centimeter. Now those are the characteristics. Now we can write. The first one is image formed. Image formed at C1. We have placed an object at what? C. But the image is also formed at what? C only. Next, it is a real and inverted. Real and inverted. Real and inverted image is formed. Next, what about the size? Same size. Image is same size of the what? Object. Image is same size of the object. So these are the characteristics of image formed by the concave mirror by placing an object exactly at the center of curvature. In that case, exactly image is formed at the what? Center of curvature only. It is real and inverted image, and the image is same size of the what? Object. Whatever the size of the object is there, image is also same size. Okay. So this is the case 3. Now we can go for the case 4. So in that case, if I place an object in between the center of curvature and focus, where the image is formed. Okay, in the next case, case 3 is over, case 4. No, it's a case. Next is case 4. The object, we are going to place object in between center of curvature and focus. Center of curvature and focus. If you can place an object in between the center of curvature and focus in front of the concave mirror where the image is formed and what are the characteristics of this image. Okay. Now I am going to consider this concave mirror. So it is on concave mirror. The outer surface is a inner surface is a reflecting surface. The light which is passed through this pole and center of curvature, you are taken as a principal axis. So it is a principal axis. Okay. Now exactly in middle, you are taken as a what? Focus. So it is a focus. Okay. Now I am going to place an object in between the center of curvature and focus. So this is the object we are placed in between the center of curvature and focus. Okay. Now we are considered the ray of light which is incident parallel to the principal axis. After the reflection, what happens? The refracted ray is passed through the focus. So this is a refracted ray which is passed through the focus. Again take a ray which is passed through the focus or which is coming from the focus. The ray which is coming from the focus strike the concave mirror. After the reflection, what happens? It moves parallel to the principal axis. Now take the ray which is moving parallel to the principal axis. Okay. So this is the ray which moves parallel to the principal axis. In case of drawing the diagram in the examination, you have to use the scale. Okay. Don't draw in the hand. Use the scale and don't forget to put the direction. If there is no direction, there is no meaning for that. So must and should mention the directions. Now okay. Now these are the refracted rays. Those will intersect at a certain point. So this is the what? Intersection of these two refracted rays. Okay. Observe carefully. That is the what? Position of image. Okay. Now where the image is from the principal axis. Observe carefully. The center of curvature is there, but behind the center of curvature, the image is formed. In case of placing an object in between what? Center of curvature and focus, where the image we get what? Behind the center of curvature, the image is formed. And what about the image here? The refracted rays are exactly meet means it is a real image, and we have placed an object like this, but the image is formed like this. So it is a what? Inverted image. And what about the size? Compared to the size of the object, the size of the image is greater. You can say enlarged. Compared to the whatever the size of the object is, the image is enlarged. And enlarged means what? The size of the image is increased compared to the size of the object. Those are the characteristics. Now we can write the first one is what? Where the image is formed? Image is formed behind the image is formed behind the center of curvature. Next, whatever the image is formed, that is the real and inverted. Real and inverted. Inverted image is formed. Okay. Next, whatever the size of the image, enlarged. Enlarged image is formed. So the size of the image is increased compared to the size of the object. So these are the characteristics of image formed by the concave mirror by placing an object in between the center of curvature and focus. That is the case 4. Now we can go for the next case, case 5. Okay. Now observe carefully. That is the case 5. So in that case, I am going to place an object exactly at the focus. Now we can object is exactly at the focus. Object at F. F is what? A principal focus. If you have placed an object exactly at the principal focus, now where the image is formed and what are the characteristics of the image. For that now, again I am going to consider the what? A concave mirror. Now It is a concave mirror. So by showing the silver surface and reflecting surface only, you can differentiate the water concave and convex mirror. Simply by drawing the water a line like this, don't say it is a concave mirror or a convex mirror. It is wrong. Okay, you must not should mention the silver surface. Then only it is a concave or a convex. Okay. Now see here. Now we have taken the water a concave mirror. The line which passes through this center of curvature and focus. This is the pole, and here this is the center of curvature. The line which passes through the center of curvature and pole, that we have taken as the principal axis. Okay. Now exactly at the middle we have taken the water. This is a focus. Now it is a focus. Okay. Now if you are placed an object exactly at the water focus at this position. Now this is the object you are placed. Now where the image is formed and what are the characteristics. Now again the ray is considered incident parallel to the principal axis. That is the first ray to show the image formation. After reflection, what happens? It passes through the focus. Now this is the ray which is pass through the focus. Use the scale and draw straight. This is the water reflected. Correct? It is passed through the focus. Okay. Now take the ray which is exactly incident at the pole. Now take the ray which is exactly incident at the pole. After what happens? It satisfies the laws of reflection, and this principal axis acts as a normal. Now this is a reflected ray. Observe carefully. Now here it is not intersecting, but it appears to be what? Going to infinity. This appears to be what? Going to infinity. So what is the meaning of that one? Whatever the image formed by the concave mirror, by placing an object exactly at the focus, in that case the image is formed at infinity. Here this ray appears to be what? Going to the infinity, means the image is formed at infinity, and whatever the image is formed, it is real and inverted. Real and inverted, and also whatever the image is formed, it is highly enlarged. So these are the characteristics of image formed by the concave mirror by placing an object exactly at the focus. So you can write the characteristics. The first one is what? The image is formed at infinity. Image formed at infinity. Image is formed at infinity. Next, whatever the image is formed, it is a real and inverted. It is a real and inverted. So here we are not shown whatever where the image is formed, because we said it is a formed at what? Infinity. So here just we experimental we done and we wrote the result. So that is the thing I am saying. So it is a image is formed at infinity, and it is real and inverted and highly enlarged. Highly enlarged. Highly enlarged means compared to the whatever the size of the object is, image is highly enlarged. So these are the characteristics of image formed by the concave mirror by placing an object exactly at the focus. Now the last case, if I place an object in between the focus and pole, what happens? You can see next. Okay, the next case is object in between the focus and pole. Means if you can place an object in between the focus and pole where the image is formed and what are the characteristics. In case of the concave mirror. Now I am going to consider this concave mirror. So this is our concave mirror. The outer surface is a silver and inner surface is a reflecting surface. Okay. Now draw the line which is passed through the pole of the mirror and the center of curvature. So this is the pole, and here it is the center of curvature that we call as the principal axis. Okay. Now exactly in middle we can take the what? A focus. Now it is a focus. Okay. Now in this case we are placing an object in between the focus and pole. This is the focus and it is the pole. Now we are placing an object in between the focus and pole. Again, whatever the rays we have considered for the image formation, take it as it is. Now we have taken the ray which is incident parallel to the principal axis. we already know that if the ray is incident parallel to the principal axis, what happens? After the reflection, it passes through the focus. Just take the ray, it is a pass through the focus. So this is a reflected ray which passes through the focus. Okay. Here, the another case, take the ray which is exactly incident at the pole. Now we have taken the ray which is exactly incident at the pole. Now what happens? The reflection of light has to be takes place. But by seeing these reflected rays, we have observed that these are appears to be diverged. Here these are diverging. Okay. But when we see these divergent rays, you see these divergent rays, these are appears to be coming. These are appears to be coming from a certain point. Right. See. These are appears to be coming from a certain point. So wherever those are appears to be coming, so that is the position of image formed by the concave mirror by placing an object in between the pole and the focus. Now where the image is formed, observe carefully. In your textbook maybe they given the another ray, they taken from the center of curvature. That is also correct one. You can take the ray from what? Center of curvature like this. This is the ray you can take from this center of curvature. That is also correct only. Okay. After it is returned back, but you can extend it. So at the same position, image is formed. You can take from the water one ray from incident parallel after it passes through the focus. Another you can take from the water center of curvature, means in that direction. Otherwise you can take the one ray from the water incident parallel. Another is at the pole. So both are correct. Okay. So sir, I will take three. You can take no problem. But the image is formed at the same point. So observe carefully where the image is formed. Okay. Now it is a what? A position of the image. Here this is a concave mirror and it is a reflecting surface. But the image is in the remaining all the cases it is formed on the what? Same side of the reflecting surface. But the image is formed on the other side of the reflecting surface when you place an object in between the focus and pole. The image is formed behind the what? Concave mirror or other side of the mirror. Or other side of the reflecting surface, the image is formed. And you have taken, this is the image object you have taken. A small object you have taken. But whatever the image you get, it is enlarged. The size of the image is what? More compared to the size of the object. So here this much only, the size of the object. Here we get the enlarged image. Okay. And what about this real or inverted? See, we know that if the refracted rays are exactly meet, means that is a real image forms. But here the refracted rays are what? Diverging, means those will not meet anyway. Okay, means those are appears to be meet. Appears to be meet means that is what? Virtual point. So whatever the image is formed, that is what? Virtual image. And it is erect or not. See, in the previous case we told if the image is formed below the water principal axis in the inverted order, so that we call it the inverted image. But whatever the object we have placed here in this way, but the image is formed also above the principal axis in this order. Means whatever the image is formed, that is the erect image or upright image. Both are same. We can say it is a erect or upright like this above the principal axis as it is how we have placed the object. So those are the characteristics. Compared to all other cases, it is an important case because this is we are using the simple microscope. Okay, so the same procedure we are using in case of this simple microscopes. Okay, so here the first is now where the where the image is formed. Image is formed. Image is formed on other side of the water, a reflecting surface. Reflecting surface. Okay. Image is formed on the other side of the reflecting surface. Next, whatever the image is formed, it is what? Not the real image. It is the virtual and erect. Virtual and erect image is formed. This erect are we can say upright. Erect or upright image is formed. Now the virtual and erector upright image is formed. Next, what about the size of the image? Enlarged image is formed. Enlarged image is formed, or highly enlarged or enlarged image is formed in case of placing an object into the focus and pole. What we get? We get the enlarged image. So these are the characteristics of image formed by the concave mirror by placing an object in between the focus and pole. Now this is the diagram. So they will ask the 3 marks question like this. Draw the neat label diagram to show the image formed by the concave mirror by placing an object in between the focus and pole and write its characteristics. In that case, you have to write this much. In the numeric also they will ask. So here just diagram oriented question. This is the answer. So next up, the applications of this concave and convex mirror. Before going to that, mirror formula is there. Mirror formula and sign convention that we are going to discuss here. So first we can discuss this mirror formula and magnification concept. Okay, what is the magnification and what is the mirror formula? We can see the next. Okay, the next concept is mirror formula. So for you there is no derivation, directly formula is there. So observe carefully. We can take any lens, any mirror. It may be a concave or a convex. For example, so it is one concave mirror we have taken, and here this is the object, position of the object. Now we have placed it at the in between the focus and the center of curvature, and here the image is formed. Somewhere the image is formed. So we can take that the ray which is passed through the focus. This is the ray which passed through the focus, and the image is formed. So if you can place an object in between these two, image is formed behind the water. This center of curvature. Observe carefully. So this is the reflected. Okay. Observe carefully. In this case, we know that the distance between the pole and focus is nothing but a focal length, that is indicated with the small f. Small f indicates the focal length. After the distance between this pole to the object, distance between the pole to the object that you have taken as the object distance, that is indicated with u. The distance between the pole to the object, that is indicated with the u, that indicates what? Object distance. And here the distance between the pole to the image, because whatever the distance you are taken, we are always taken from the pole only. So the distance between the pole to the what? Image, you are taken as the image distance, that is indicated with v. Indicated with v. V indicates the image distance, u indicates the object distance, and f indicates the focal length of the mirror. In case of concave, in case of convex. So the relation between these focal length, image distance, and object distance, that we call as the mirror formula, that we are written as 1 by f. 1 by f is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by v. 1 by f is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by q. So this we call as the mirror formula. Now here f is the focal length of the mirror, and v indicates the image distance, and u indicates the object distance. So here, if they ask the question, what is the mirror formula, and expand it terms. If they ask the question means, so 1 by f is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by u is the mirror formula. F indicates the focal length, and v indicates the image distance, and u indicates the object distance. Okay. So after, by observing the size of the image formed by the concave mirror, by placing an object at different positions, we have observed that sometimes the image is formed exactly at the center of curvature, sometimes it is behind the center of curvature, sometimes in between the center of curvature and focus like that. Means the size of the image is varied. Okay, so by observing these, we are defining the quantity that we call as a magnification, that is a linear magnification unit. So what is the linear magnification? So here, observe carefully, linear magnification. Linear magnification, that is indicated with a small m. Linear magnification, that is indicated with a small m, is equal to the, how we are defined this linear magnification is, it is defined as the ratio of the size of the image to the size of the object. See, whatever the size of the object is, that we are taken as the h. H indicates the size of the object and h prime indicates the size of the image. H indicates the size of the object and h prime indicates the size of the image. We can say it is about height of the object and height of the image also. That is also correct. Now we can define the linear magnification as defined as the ratio of size of the image to the size of the object. Now the magnification, linear magnification, is defined as a ratio of the size of the image to the what? Size of the object. What is the size of the image? So that is h prime. What is the size of the object? That is the h. Or we can say the ratio height of the image to the height of the object. So this size of the image, that is indicated with what? H prime, and size of the object, that is indicated with h. Therefore, mathematically we can write this m is equal to, so m indicates what? Linear magnification is equal to h prime by h. H prime is the size of the image and h is the size of the object. Observe carefully, this magnification is related to the image distance v and object distance u. How it is magnification is related to this image distance and object distance means, observe carefully. So relation between the magnification m and image distance v and object distance u. What is the relation means? That is m is equal to what? H prime by h is equal to minus v by u. This is a relation. Observe carefully. Now the magnification m is equal to h prime by h is nothing but magnification, linear magnification. It is related to the image distance v and object distance u, and minus sign is. I will tell you what is the minus. Okay, so that is the ratio of what? Image distance to the object distance is also is what? Magnification. What is this minus sign indicates? Means minus sign indicates the real image. If the image is real, that indicates what? Minus sign. Because we know that here, whatever the image is formed, that forms below the principal axis. I will say in case of the sign convention, just you have to remember that. So here minus sign indicates what? A real image. Negative sign shows a real image, real and inverted image. Negative sign shows a real and inverted image. So this is the relation between the magnification and image distance and object distance. So you have to remember this mirror formula and linear magnification formula and a relation. So after, if you want to solve the numerical, you must should know the sign convention. What is this sign convention? We can discuss in the next.